Well, hello, everybody. How are you all? Good. Thank you, Suba, for that wonderful introduction. I am here to say, whoops, congratulations to the Working Mother 100 Best Companies. Let's give you all a round of applause. Woo! I know, right, Suba? I know what it takes to be a 100 Best Company. And I have to tell you that one of the hallmarks of being a best company is that you look for what's next to support your employees, just like Suba said yesterday. Well, and that's why we're here today. We're here to share what you're doing now that works, and we're looking for what's next for all of you to take on and bring back to your companies. And one of the things that I've always said, many of you heard me say this, is that working mothers have always been the icebreakers, paving the way to better balance for all employees. And now, today, we have a huge cohort that needs the same kind of attention that we brought to bear on working mothers 32 years ago when we launched this list. And that cohort today is aging workers. We are now facing a silver tsunami. I want to see that tsunami. There it is. This is big. We're now facing a silver tsunami of baby boomers who are retiring from the workforce. I think a lot of you know this, but from now until 2029, 10,000 boomers a day will be turning the age of 65, which is the age of retirement. That means 40 million people. That's the size of the whole population of California will be retiring in the next 11 years, the biggest cohort of retirees ever. Do you know when our retirement age was set? Oh, there's kind of a hint there. But it's true. In the depths of the Depression, FDR launched Social Security, and they had to declare an age of retirement, and they declared that age to be 65. But one of the really interesting facts is that the lifespan of the average worker at the time was only 58. So they weren't really counting on you collecting a lot of that Social Security. So, 83 years later, I mean, a long time, since 1935. And what has changed? Well, the age of retirement has not changed. It's still 65. But what has changed, and changed dramatically, thank you very much to science and medicine, is the lifespan of the average worker. So now men are living to 77, and women, come on ladies, we get to live to 81 or way beyond that. There's 87,000 100-year-olds in this country today, and they're projecting that there will be a couple million in the next decade. But as you know, and as I hope you all feel, because it's important, we're not just living longer, we're living better, we're living healthier. The new longevity that science and medicine has given to us has resulted in a better life and a longer life. And it presents a whole host of questions about how we will shape society in the decades to come with this new reality of our longevity. Part of the story for you as employers is the current labor market. Wall Street Journal announced on Friday the U.S. unemployment rate drops to 3.7%. I think it's the lowest in 50 years. And the National Review, interestingly, said employers are howling for immigration because they don't have enough workers. And SHRM gives us this interesting data point. There are more available jobs now than at any time since the year 2000, the peak of the dot-com boom. So that brings us to the silver lining of the silver tsunami. The new longevity and the tight labor market makes today the actual perfect time to shift our thinking about aging workers. We think of aging workers as your new talent pool. It's a deep, rich pool full of promise for companies that catch this big, big silver wave. I want you to consider what we know about this talent pool. First of all, older workers have decades of experience, leading to institutional knowledge that is quite remarkable. They have high emotional intelligence because of those decades of experience. They've cultivated business relationships over decades, business relationships that are important to you and to your bottom line. They're loyal, lowering your attrition rates. And believe it or not, true fact, studies have shown they take fewer sick days than their millennial counterparts. And of course, in this age where so many people want to get the great thinking about career performance and how to navigate their careers, aging workers are great mentors who actually want to and hunger to give back. So how do you jump into that beautiful pool? By implementing a thoughtful process to maximize the potential of this talent pool. Respectful Exits has developed a 5-point recommendation that we call on you to adopt as your answer to Suba's question, what's next? This is what's next. First, we call it the longevity agenda. And number 1 on our longevity agenda is also on my t-shirt. Get rid of the assumed and outdated sell-by date. We say, milk curdles, people don't. Can I hear you all say that? Milk curdles, people don't. Milk curdles, people don't. You can imagine all of us marching in Washington with this. We'll see you there. Number 2 is develop and train your aging workers. Older workers have been keeping up with the 18-month cycle of Moore's Law since Moore declared Moore's Law, and that was a long time ago. I hope most of you know what Moore's Law is. We want you to embrace that capacity for change. Aging workers have proved it over and over and over again as each new cycle of technology has come through, and we've adapted. I remember my first BlackBerry. I remember it very fondly. I think I still own it. A recent Dropbox survey, also an interesting point, showed that older workers adopted technology as quickly as younger workers, but that they felt less stress about it because they've been through that before. Older workers do not expect technology to be perfect. They expect it to be highly flawed at first. Number 3 is provide flex customized for aging workers. Aging workers, of course, want and need to use flex. They want to use it to care for their own parents who are even older. They want to use it to care for their spouses who are also aging, for their children, their grown children, and for their grandchildren. They may want to work part-time or ease up on their commute. It's really as individual as flex is for moms and dads. We've all learned that lesson. A truly robust flex program for all workers should accommodate aging workers. Have you checked on your flex programs to see what your aging workers think about what you're doing for flex for them? Number 4 is to provide financial wellness counseling. And this is so key. The new longevity means that older workers are planning to work longer to accommodate their new longevity. And baby boomers have been the greatest consumers of all times. I think we know that. That's what's fueled this enormous economy of the United States. One thing that we don't want to do is to lose that. But people can't spend what they don't have. And look at the numbers. The numbers are rather frightening. Half of workers age 50 plus have less than $14,000 in savings. So what we believe you need to do is to make some changes in this by careful counseling offered to each and every employee every year so that they can really learn how to change those numbers. Number 5, implement phased retirement. 2 out of 3 workers age 55 plus want to work longer, but only 5% of companies have a formal phased retirement program. With phased retirement, companies are better prepared for succession planning and can ensure critical transfer of tremendously important knowledge. Employees can ease into retirement instead of dropping off a cliff after decades in the workforce. It's better financially, it's better emotionally. You are the companies who set the standard for family leave. Now it's time for you to adopt phased retirement for this silver tsunami of retiring boomers. With the longevity agenda, companies can support their older workers so that those who want to and or need to, or both, to work longer can do just that. The silver tsunami becomes your talent pool, just as you created support for working mothers so that that valuable cohort could stay in the workforce. Now we must create support for older workers who want to be the vibrant contributors today and tomorrow. Aging workers are an exciting new talent pool in our global workforce. They are what's next. And I hope you'll join us in our movement and come to our table over in the reception area and donate and get one of our free t-shirts. Thank you very much. Great to be back. Thank you, Suba.